Will he make a bigger impact? Yes! Unbelievable!
Nava hits it in the air to right field. Frank Hoare going back. He's at the wall. Boston, this is for you. A 3-run home run for Daniel Nava puts the Sox on top, 4-2.
Hello, I'm Sam Dostaler, and on today's show on set will be Sam Dostaler, a Plato graduate in 2009, and thanks for coming on the show.
Problem, Brian. It's my pleasure.
And he was the former boys basketball play-by-play announcer when he was your senior in high school.
Yeah, boys and girls basketball. I can start my broadcasting career.
All right, but today we'll be talking about national sports from the NFL, NHL, baseball. So today we're going to start with some role play action, and the first one is going to be Frank Vogel. You're Frank Vogel, Sam, the Indiana Pacers head coach. And do you really believe that you have a chance to beat the Miami Heat?
Of course I think we have a chance to beat the Miami Heat. I mean, what? They're just another team. They're just another team. They're just out there. Plus, we can take advantage of the inside game. We have Roy Hibbert, 7-2. He's averaging 14 points per game, almost 10 rebounds a game here in this postseason. He's going to clog the lane. He's going to give LeBron James, Dwayne Wade. They're not going to be able to get to the hoop like they do. So that's going to make it difficult for them on the offensive end. Then we have David West, our power forward, 6'9", just over 17 points per game, just over 7.5 rebounds per game. He'll be able to take away Chris Bosh. He can score the basketball. He's very good down low. So I think those two guys give us a huge advantage inside, which I think could be the difference in this series. And then our team defense. We're the best team defense remaining in the playoffs. We've only allowed 89.4 points per game. And we're just allowing teams to shoot 42% from the field. So with that, I think we have a good, what am I saying? We have enough chance. Have you seen the Heat? They have LeBron James, Dwayne Wade. When I said they're just another team, I didn't mean that. They're the best in the NBA. They're going to win the title.
And I tend to agree with that. I do think the Heat will win it 5 games.
Now, Brian, your men's basketball coach, Kevin Ollie, you have landed a top recruit in the class of 2014 in Daniel Hamilton. You've also landed a highly coveted transfer in Rodney Purvis, despite the awful new logo that is going on the Gamble Pavilion court as we speak. What are your expectations for UConn's men's basketball as we move forward here?
By the way, with the new logo, I say I like it, but I actually hate it. And yes, we did just recently get Daniel Hamilton. He attended my former high school in Los Angeles. We're very excited to have him aboard. Rodney Purvis, he was looking at us during his recruiting stage, and finally he's coming to Gamble. And we also yesterday just got a George Washington transfer, Blazon Chroma. He will be playing this year. And also Nestor Bolt is going to be back from his suspension. He will be a non-scholarship player. And for the outlook of the 2013-2014 season, I think we have Final Four aspirations, definitely with the return of DeAndre Daniels, Ryan Boatwright, and Shabazz Napier. So I think it could be a potential another national title season for the women.
Yeah, a lot of talent on that team. It'll be a lot of fun to watch and see what they do now that they are eligible for the postseason.
And now, next, Sam, you are Joe Girardi. How have you been able to win despite all these injuries?
Well, I gotta tell you, it's been one heck of a managerial job on my part. I mean, anytime you have, listen to this list here. You have Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, Andy Pettit, Mark Teixeira, Kevin Euclid, Michael Pindea, Ivan Nova, just to name a few. We still got more guys in the DL. That's just the big names right there. We have some depth also on the DL, and it's just been, it's been tough, but I mean, when you're a manager like myself, I mean, come on. The Florida Marlins, they fired me after I won the Manager of the Year in the NL, so I obviously know what I'm doing back there. And you're getting a lot out of some guys you wouldn't expect. Vernon Wells, who had just been awful for quite some time with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. He's hitting .288 this year with 10 home runs and 24 RBIs. Travis Hafner's having a resurgence, 8 home runs, 22 RBIs. Hiroki Kuroda, 6-2, a 1.99 ERA. Who would have thought he'd be our best pitcher? Of course, we that was my managerial job once again. And he's allowing batters to hit just .201 against him. And then, of course, Mariano Rivera. I mean, that's not my doing. He's just being Mariano once again. 17 saves and 17 chances, 1.47 ERA, and a 2.09 batting average against. That has nothing to do with me, but overall, my managerial job has been great once again. And to wrap this up, Brian, your Cleveland Indians manager,
Your arch rival, former rival.
Terry Francona, how have you turned this club around so quickly?
Well, obviously I was the manager of Boston for 8 years. Great time there. Free my blood. Great. The team has won 18 of his last 23, and we're now 1.5 games up. We have a big game, big series against the Tigers. And guess what? We're in Boston this coming weekend. My first trip back there. But the reason why we're playing so well, Michael Brantley being 306, and we got these two young pitchers, Justin Masterson, former Red Sox prospects.
Pitching like a Cy Young right now.
He is 7-2 with a 2.83 ERA, but he doesn't even have the lowest ERA on the team. That goes to Zach McAllister, 3-3 with a 2.65 ERA, and some more stats for you. First in slugging percentage, we're 4th in runs, 3rd in batting average against. So those are some numbers that have been increasingly better than last year, and a lot of guys think that we're like the Orioles from last year, getting some close one-run games, and we've been able to get those so far, and I think we have a chance in the AL Central come October. All right, now we are going to move to sentence fillers, where we're going to say sentence, and one of us is going to fill the rest of the sentence. So Sam, we're going to first start off with you. For the greater population, the interest of the NHL playoffs has been
Putrid. It has been absolutely putrid. The greater population has not bought back into the NHL whatsoever. Just some numbers for you. They haven't put out the playoff numbers yet, but going back to the regular season, the NHL regular season finale on NBC Sports had a .4 rating. That was between a marquee rivalry matchup, the New Jersey Devils and the New York Rangers. It was the lowest rating for any game, NHL game on NBC since the sport returned to the channel in 2006. 5 of the 7 Sunday afternoon nationally televised NHL games on NBC received fewer than 1 million viewers. The last 4 received fewer than 1 million viewers. The NHL has not come back to the greater population. They have their diehards. The diehards have come back, but the fans that aren't there every day, they have not returned to the sport. Now, Brian, the San Diego Chargers Dwight Freeney signing is
Yankee-like, taken from you a little earlier. Guys like Lyle Overbay, Vernon Wells, and Travis Hammond, they stepped up. And Dwight Freeney stepped up last year, only had 10 tackles for the Colts in the past season. He is a 7-time Pro Bowler. He shows that he can produce, obviously. Does he have one more last leg in him, the last push? He did sign a 2-year deal, so he does have 2 years to figure it out. San Diego, it's on the West Coast side. I believe that he can make a difference for the Chargers. Sam, next question. Miguel Cabrera's career will be remembered as
historic. That's the only word for Miguel Cabrera's career right now. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. By the end of his career, he could be remembered as the greatest right-handed hitter of all time. That's the type of numbers he's been putting up. He won the Triple Crown and the AL MVP last year. This year, after the ball game a couple days ago, he was batting .387, first in the AL, 11 home runs, which is second in the AL, behind 4 or 5 guys who have 12. He has 47 RBIs. That's first in the AL. So he has a chance to win the Triple Crown again. No player has won the Triple Crown in back-to-back years. So Miguel Cabrera is on pace for, once again, a historic year and a historic career. And then think about this comparison with Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron, obviously the all-time, now second all-time in home runs behind Barry Bonds with 755 games. This stat was shown on Sunday Night Baseball this week on ESPN. Through their first 1,553 games, listen to these comparisons. Hank Aaron, 318, 347 home runs, 1,137 RBIs. Miguel Cabrera, 320, 329 home runs, 1,165 RBIs. Right now, Cabrera is up there with the upper echelon of Major League Baseball. His career is going to be historic. Now, Now, Brian, to wrap this one up, New York Mets starting pitcher Matt Harvey's start has been
Harvey-licious. This guy has just been phenomenal for the Mets in the early part of his career. This year he is 5-0 with a 1.55 ERA. He is to start tonight against Cincinnati Reds. Let's see how he does. He has 68 strikeouts. And by the way, he outdueled Steven Strasburg earlier this season. So you can see some comparison between him and Strasburg. And I believe that he is better than Strasburg at this point. Now, he did turn down a $1 million signing bonus out of high school by the Angels when he drafted in the 3rd round. By the way, his only loss was from the high school.
coached a great first base in that game, by the way.
And he made the smart decision by going to college 3 years in North Carolina and moved up to the seventh overall picks in the Mets. And really, I believe that Matt Harvey is the only difference between the Mets and the Astros. A team like that, both struggling. These teams haven't put up many W's this year, and really it gives the Mets fans something to cheer about once every 5 days. And now we move on to Mike's part of the show. We'll be doing grades, and you can see the 4 questions there. And we're going to start off first.
So basically, I'll be reading them the topics. They'll give me their views, and I'll give them a grade on what I believe according to their opinions. So first off, we'll start with you, Brian, and Sam. You feel free to comment right after Brian's done. Kim Mulkey on telling Brittany Griner to hide her sexuality because of the program's outlook.
I think this is really just bad. Kim Mulkey, from my understanding, she's a great coach. Brittany Griner shows that, but just really to hide it, something like that, and eventually stuff like this comes out. I mean, we've seen things, Penn State scandal. This stuff does come out, and really, Brittany Griner just completely threw her former coach under the bus. She just came out and just said it pretty much. I mean, there's no scandal, no nothing. She just came out and said it really made her look bad. And from the recruiting standpoint, I don't think it really makes a difference whether, this just doesn't make sense.
Sam? I'm going to give it a D. It doesn't make much sense to me. There's no reason to not let the players speak their mind, especially with the way Jason Collins has come out, the way it's been accepted. It's just it doesn't make any sense to me. And like you said, Brian, I don't think it would have affected recruiting that much. I mean, at this point in day and age, you see the player and you say, okay, this is where Kim Mulkey has brought her from her freshman year to her senior. I think that's what players are looking at now, not what their sexuality is.
So next time, just give me a grade, so that way I'm just assuming it was an F. Yeah. Now, the second topic, Mike Gundy not allowing Wes Lunt to transfer to possible future opponents.
Mike Gundy, the Oklahoma State football coach, is not allowing his freshman quarterback, who only played 2 games last season, not to transfer to possible future opponents. That includes obviously the Big 12, the Pac-12, and maybe even the SEC. And this is just wrong. I mean, you can't limit a kid's options like this. I mean, you're really, this Wes Lunt has a ton of talent at the quarterback position. He showed it in a couple games that he did play, and to limit him to all these big-time programs just really doesn't seem right to me. So what's your grade for that? My grade's going to be a B-.
I'm going to go a little bit lower than that, Brett. I'm going to give that a C-. This is, although I'm going to say, this isn't all Mike Gundy doing this. This is a common practice throughout college sports, coaches and schools limiting where their transfers can transfer to. But with that said, I don't think it's right. A kid obviously has the talent to go to a high-level Division I school, and he should be able to go to another high Division I school if he chooses to. There's no reason Wes Lunt can't transfer to Oklahoma if he wants to, or Texas if he wants to. The NCAA always talks about how they're there for the student athletes. This is one area of many areas where they have to improve their standings. They have to make some changes when it comes to this. So it's not Mike Gundy's fault completely, but it's the NCAA's, I think, as a bigger, they have to do something to change this around.
All right, so now we're on to our third topic, how the MLB possibly may be expanding instant replay for the 2014 season.
I'm going to give this an A-. I do believe early on when instant replay was first brought about, I didn't really think it would be a good idea. But now I'm starting to understand that with the technology that we have, it's something that I think can be fixed. I mean, the plays like in the A's Indians game where that should have been a home run. And then the Astros Angels one. You know, it's just plays that are game changers. However, something that they do need to fix with the instant replay is, I was listening to ESPN Radio the other day, and for the A's Indians game, the umpires were using a 12-inch non-HD screen to look at this play, which obviously is a huge disadvantage. The viewer, someone like myself, who has a 40-inch HD, has a much better look than the umpire, which makes absolutely no sense. So I do believe it is a good decision to expand it, but they may need to actually, use the technology for HD.
I'm going to give it a B+. I, like you, Brian, was a little wary of them going to full out instant replay when this first started. But we continue to see just umpires messing up calls, and it's going to come to the point where they're not going to expand it, and it's going to be a World Series, it's going to be a Game 7, a deciding game of a playoff series, a deciding regular season game on a team to go to the playoff, and an umpire is going to blow a call, and then they're going to make the change. So I think they have to do something before that happens. And they always talk about, oh, this is a game of human error. But I've thought about it more lately. I mean, football didn't start out with instant replay. Basketball didn't. Hockey, golf. Golf doesn't really have instant replay. I meant tennis, which has the best system. So, I mean, all of these sports started out as human error. They've joined the age of technology, and I think it's time for baseball to do the same, with the exception of balls and strikes. If we review balls and strikes, we'll be there for another 15 hours.
And
then fourth and final, how Nerlens Noel will be the first overall pick of the 2013 NBA draft.
I'm going to give this a C+. I do not necessarily believe that he will be the first overall pick. He averaged 10.5 points per game, 9.5 rebounds in his really short time at Kentucky. He actually tore his ACL against the Florida game. I believe Ben McLemore, maybe even Otto Porter, or Trey Burke could take that first spot in first overall. But by the way, the Cavaliers have that. They won the draft lottery last night.
I'm going to give it an A-. I really like Nerlens Noel. I think he is somebody who can turn a franchise around. He's played at the Hoop Hall a couple of years ago in Springfield. Was listening to some of the scouts talk about him. They were talking about how they haven't seen a high school center with his defensive ability since Patrick Ewing came through the high school ranks in the 80s. So I think he's a guy who can change a franchise around. I think he's going to be a good pick. He's raw offensively, but he has a lot of room to move. He's a guy who in high school could guard another team's swingman, a three-man point guard. He could guard athletic positions. So he's someone who can change the game defensively. Sometimes that's more important than changing the game offensively. I mean, look at Ben Wallace. I mean, he couldn't score throughout his career, but he had a great career defensively, and he was an all-star because of it.
And just remember the last time that the Cavaliers ended up with a overall pick, they got drafted James.
That worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well.
So now we go to the grading process. The first topic on the Kim Mulkey telling Brittany Griner her sexuality, I have to agree with Brian because I find that totally unacceptable on her part. We're working on trying not to discriminate against others, and that's just totally unacceptable, especially in collegiate athletics. Second, Mike Gundy not allowing Westland to transfer. I have to go with Sam on this one. It shouldn't happen. 3, MLB possibly expanding instant replay. I have to go with Sam. I mean, just because he had the lower grade. I don't think, I'm one of the baseball purists, we'll call it. They shouldn't have instant replay. Human error is part of the game. America's pastime. I don't believe that they should. So I have to go with Sam on that one. And then Nerlens Noel being the first overall pick. I have to go with Brian on this one because I don't think Nerlens Noel is going to be that great of a player. I think he might be a flop. We don't know that much about him. The last guy who was drafted, what was it, first overall, Kyrie, that had a torn ACL, turned out pretty well. And with all these guys coming back, like RG3 and Adrian Peterson from the knee injuries, we don't know. They could recover very well. They could not recover. But I have to go with Brian because I don't think he'll be that player that they think he will be. So right now it's 2-2. Oh, man.
You put yourself in a bind there.
I did.
It's a tie.
I'm going to go with Sam on this one just because he's a guest on the show. And
The host has to take care of the guest.
yeah. So I'm going with Sam on this one. His grades are more accurate. His grades are more accurate than yours, Brian.
Now the big finish. Happy 31st birthday to Apollo Anton Ono, the American Olympic speed skater. He turns 31 today. When American Olympic record 8 medals, including 2 gold.
Another happy birthday to Novak Djokovic. She turned 26 days already, won 7 majors, including the 2013 Australian Open this past.
Happy anniversary to Annika Sorenstam. On this day in 2003, you became the first woman in 58 years to play in a PGA Tour event when you teamed up with the men at the Colonial in Fort Worth, Texas.
And lastly, happy trails to Ryan Ehrlich. A little breaking news here. He just recently retired, a longtime linebacker for the Chicago Bears. He played 182 games, recorded 1,363 tackles, and is an 8-time Pro Bowler. So certainly the NFL will miss him. All right, that concludes another show here at PHS Sports. I'd like to thank Sam for coming on the show today and your insight on sports.
Thank you very much, Brian. It was a pleasure coming on.
You've been watching PHS Sports.